Yeah, welcome back to Storm Report. Today I want to talk about electrical cars, e-cars, and all the aspects that are related to this technology. I have invited an expert, Frank. Frank, he has a lot of experience. Many years he was building electric cars. He has a lot of experience with lithium-ion accumulators. And recently he bought a new e-car from the market, so he knows all the aspects. I would like to study the different issues that are related to e-cars. For example, how many kilometers can I drive with one battery charge, the autonomy? How does the charging work of the battery? What can I do if I have a home, my own house? How can I handle my electric car if I live in a flat? Because I don't have a garage. I don't have my own charging station. What are the prices of the different vehicles, and what are the subsidies that I can get? What is the money I can get from the state to buy an electric car? In this situation, we only studied the situation in Germany because I do not make a comparison for all the different countries. Nevertheless, in most of the European countries, you have some subsidies. So I invite you to study these aspects on your own. And then, as a last aspect, I want to show you the ecology of the car. We will talk about ecological aspects to see where is the e-car optimum solution for ecology, where are we moving in the gray zone, and what is the area where we better should use other transport vehicles. Okay, let's now start and invite Frank to join our meeting. Yes, hello, good morning, Frank. Thank you that you have joined our channel. Yeah, good morning, Jürgen. Yes, thank you for the invitation. For 10 years now, I'm working electric cars, the issue. I'm interested. I bought my own electric car. And concerning charging, you have your own photovoltaic panel, so you produce your own energy at home for your car. Exactly, yeah, because it makes a lot of sense that you use your own source of energy at home to charge your car. Okay. With your experience, I would be interested to have a look at the different car models that you can buy at the moment on the market, just to get an introduction into the issue. And then afterwards, I would like to discuss with you the more technical aspects of the subject. So first of all, I will open the pages of ADAC, the German Automotive Club, the biggest one, and then we could have a look what they offer as an information, and we can talk about it. Yeah, here we have the ADAC pages. Maybe we will just talk a little bit about the cars, the basic criteria. These are models that are available at the moment on the market. You see the main criteria, which is the sales price, and as well the mileage that you can do with the car, the autonomy of the car. From my feeling, I would say there are already a lot of car models available, because if you read the press, it seems there's not enough cars, but there are a lot of electric cars already to buy. That's true, but the problem is today the price. For many consumers, the price is the main criteria, the investment price, and if this price is too high, then the people will not use this technology. Yeah, okay, I agree, because what I see here for the list prices, from my feeling, I would say the basic price for the same type of car would be like 50% more, or nearly the double, compared to a conventional combustion car. Yeah, that would be more or less like this, but you have to be aware that for this type of investment, you will not only consider the investment price, you will have to consider as well the running cost, and then the electric car has a lot of advantage.
Ja, okay, das sehe ich. Ja.
Okay, and then beside of the price, we have the mileage that you can do with the car, the autonomy. But here what we here see is a hydrogen car that is as a technology beside of the standard lithium-ion battery technology. What is your opinion about the hydrogen cars in the future compared to the standard electric car with lithium-ion accumulators? What would you say is in the future the tendency? Well, from my point of view, the technology will be that the cars with battery, they will be for the mass market. They have the advantage compared to the hydrogen. The hydrogen today has a problem is that the infrastructure is much more far away today. It's a very high cost for the infrastructure. The technology is much more complicated, and the conversion of the energy from electricity and then hydrogen and then back to electricity means a lot of energy losses, and well, that does not make it so attractive, this technology. That's why from my point of view the standard battery technologies for the everyday use has a lot of advantage. Okay, I agree with you, but in general the situation, where do I get all the energy from, the electricity from? Because in our energy mix today we do not have so many renewable energy. In many countries only up to 30%. So where do I get all the energy from? Well, I think in the future we will have enough options to make renewable energies. The problem will be if we want to change from today until tomorrow to switch from one system to the other, to the electric cars, then this will not be possible. And then we would have as well a problem with infrastructure and so on. But if we have enough time, we can adapt the infrastructure, the production of energy. So for me, this is not the big issue. On the other hand, you do not have to consider the electric cars as the fantastic element that will solve all our transport problems. Okay, I understand. Here we have then, beside of autonomy, mileage as well, what we see, most of the cars move 200-300 kilometers of mileage of autonomy. Then the more expensive cars, then maybe you reach 500 or 600 kilometers without any problem. But then, okay, if I see a normal combustion car, I can reach 600-700 kilometers without any problem. So if I need electric car with a lot of mileage, a lot of autonomy, then the price is extremely high. Yeah, that's true. And that's why the electric car is really today only very attractive, where you do not have to do every day a lot of kilometers. You can do this with an electric car. For example, if you see Tesla, they have the superchargers, so you can charge in a very short time for a lot of extra miles. But from my point of view, the autonomy, the mileage that you can do is not a big problem, because most of the people only have to do 30-40 kilometers every day. So I don't think that autonomy is a big issue. The second issue, okay, is how do we charge the cars, that we will have a look later. What we see as a resume, for example, you see all these cars that you can see here, for example, on the ADAC pages that have a lot of listings and resumes. Tesla, for example, here, general market leader, is considered to be a market leader, but what you see is really nearly all brands of all car manufacturers today, they offer electric cars. Everybody can find his model. You can find as well small transporter. The only thing is where you would say that I cannot find electric today is a truck, but all the rest is available. The question is only what would be the price and what is the autonomy of the car. Yeah, today everybody who's interested in electric cars has a lot of choice. You have already a big choice. And more car makers enter into the market, offer new models. So for everybody will find his car model today already. So there is no limitation from this point of view, and the car makers they have switched to their brain to e-cars clearly. Okay, let's now check the practical aspects, charging of the cars. Here we see the 3 standard charging options that you have if you have your electric cars. Okay, I will explain it. First of all, I have the option to charge my car on the standard plug at home at low power. Then we have the public charging stations that you find on public parkings and other spaces. And then you have the wall box. That means I have the option to charge 3-phase, for example, higher power, faster. So first of all, let's have a look at home. How do you charge your car at home? What is the technology that you use normally every day? Okay, at home I have a wall box as well. Well, this name is at the moment it's a hype to use this name, but it's simply a 3-phase power connection where I can charge my car a little bit faster. Yeah, it's connected to the power system of the house with the 3 phases. So in my case, for example, I have 9 kilowatt, 3 times 3 kilowatt. The question is, do you really need such a high power at home? Because normally it's not the issue, because more power means simply that you can have a shorter charging time, but it's not necessary, because most of the time my car is standing in front of my house maybe 10 hours or even more or one day, so I can charge it with a standard plug. There's no stress. Okay, I agree with you. So if you have your house, then there's no issue. What do you do if you are living in a flat? No, because at your house you have a wall box, you have a plug, you make a 2-meter cable, you charge. But what do people do that live in a flat, in an apartment, in the city, that don't have their own place to live? If this technology has to be a general one, and everybody needs an option to charge. Well, that is at the moment the problem that is not resolved. Yeah, because you cannot just take a cable, a 20-meter cable, pass it through your window and charge your car on the street. There must be created an infrastructure to charge the cars. Yeah, and you have if you have private parkings of a block of flats, and for example the common parking is not an issue, then you have the option to install charging points. But as well in the public area you need a lot of smaller charging points with smaller power and where you can charge on public parkings a longer time. Okay, in Germany, for example, in the block of flat, if you have a common parking in the house, then you have the right to install a wall box in the parking area. On the other hand, okay, one wall box, if many neighbors have the car, what will happen? So what we can say here, really the best solution here is not found yet, no? Because what we said before, Germany, maybe 40% of the people have their own house. But what do we do with the rest of the consumers? Exactly. That is where today has to be found a solution, and within the population has to grow the understanding of this technology to accept more, and Westerns at that time will decide what will be the final solutions in the future. On the other hand, you do not have to think that the electric car that today is available will be universal for everybody and everybody will drive an electrical car in the future. There will be other transport concepts. Okay, then the next step would be on the way, on the road. So I see the following situations. Most of the time I find the standard charging columns like this one in the middle with 11, 22, 43 kilowatts.
Das heißt, wenn ich da mein Auto dranhänge, brauche ich ja auch dann 2-3 Stunden oder sowas. Das sind ja so typische Ladesäulen.
Okay, then I can charge, for example, on the superchargers. Supercharger models, you have two models. Yeah. Supercharger simply means you have a lot of power, so you charge very fast. Tesla had the first supercharger, where you could, for example, in 20 minutes, you can charge very fast. For example, you take a coffee and charge the car, similar to a standard gas station. The thing is, if you see the quantity of cars, 20 minutes is even very long, compared to a standard gas station. So it's not really a solution, even if you put superchargers everywhere in the landscape. Okay, that is as well the question of philosophy. Today, it's an option. You can do a long distance driving with an electric car. There's no problem. You have the option to do so. With the Ionity or the superchargers in Germany, you have no problem. You find a lot of supercharging points. You can travel all around the country. You have to do a little bit more planning. On the other hand, if you are used to a standard, for example, diesel car, where you just in 5 minutes you fill up your tank and then you do 1,000 kilometers or miles, that is another way of traveling. It's still more comfortable. So at the end of the day, with electric mobility, we have to accept that we will not have exactly the same luxury or comfort than compared to the standard combustion car. Okay, but this is what is a typical situation. If the environmental issue does not have the same comfort than the conventional solution, then it has more problems to be accepted. Nevertheless, okay, what we see here is the technologies are developed that we go in the direction to have the same comfort. Okay. Yeah, but here I have to say it's always the same discussion, the mileage, autonomy, and so on. Okay, that's true. But you have to see how is the everyday life with your personal driving experience. Normally, every day you do not do a lot of mileage. Normally, your car is charged in front of the house. And then you drive the distance, you drive home, and then you charge again. You do not drive more than 50 or 100 kilometers a day. But if you then go to holiday, if you go for the weekend and really do a very long distance, okay, then you would do plan to make a trip with some superchargers. But on the other hand, if you are used always to drive all the time in thousands of kilometers, okay, we have to accept. It's not the same comfort. Okay, I agree. On the other hand, we talk about ecology, and the general point of view, or everybody agrees that in the cities, the driving with an electric car is ecological because you have no emissions and you can make the electricity green. But on the other hand, on a long distance, thousands of kilometers, it's not ecological to drive with a car. If you only consider ecological point of view, because a car has a weight of 2,000 kilos and you move a person with 80 kilos. This can never be ecological. You can do what you want, yeah? Even if the energy is green. Exactly, that is another time the general philosophy. Our political system is focused on the cars in general, on individual transport, but we need some type of integrated and complete change in the transport philosophy. It will be in the future like this, but it will not be that everybody will have a Tesla and drive 1,000 miles a day. This is not feasible from the ecological point of view. Exactly, because we do not have to forget that an electric car as well needs a lot of raw materials and there are environmental issues. And today the electrical car was considered like a religion. It will solve our environment, but it's not like this. If you are engineer, you know what are the technical aspects and the energy you need for the production of the car and the raw materials and so on. There are a lot of issues. So we have to be aware that this is not ecological for very long distances. On the other way, what we have here is public money that the public support you get for the car. You get a direct support 5,000 to 6,000 euros. Then from your car dealer you get another 3,500. And then this is as well for second-hand cars, starting from 2019, and then you have a lot of different tax reductions. The wall box can be paid from your employer and so on. Yeah, you can park. You have a free parking in many communities. Yeah, so you have a lot of small or big direct supports. In your case, did you get all these subsidies from the state for the last car that you bought, this last standard car? Yeah, for the car that I drive at the moment, it was a car that I bought from the dealer. Yeah. And the dealer managed all these subsidies and all the public support. At the end of the day, I got it, yeah, but I got it indirectly. No? On the other hand, the car that I drove, that it has already some years, 2 years or whatever, and so I did not get the full amount because I was a little bit in the gray zone. Yeah. What we see clearly is that there are more and more public supports from the communities, from the state, because they want really to promote the e-mobility. Yeah. I think the governments see that it will be a key technology on a global base, so you have to make promotion of this technology. It will be the main concept in the individual transport, so Germany focuses now as well on this technology. And that's why you have all this public support. Okay, at the moment what we have is this public support. Really, the only thing is doing compensation of the higher purchase price. So you really need this support because not the investment would be maybe too high for many consumers. Nevertheless, there are attractive aids from the state. Yeah, Frank, thank you very much. So please, what would be then at the moment the cost, the running cost or electricity cost for driving 100 kilometers with an electric car? Okay, this depends on the type of car you have, no, and the style of driving. But let's just take a middle class car, a Golf style, for example, a Golf size, then you are around 4 euros per 100 kilometers for the running cost. the consume of the electrical car, you could consider something like 12 up to 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and then you have to pay 30 cents per 100 kilowatt hours. Okay, then the question today is, the electricity today has no specific tax supplement, but diesel and gas has a lot of tax supplement. Don't you see the danger that the state, the government, when they see in the future everybody's driving electrical? Okay, now I'll make the same high supplement on electricity for electric charging. Well, yeah, sure, this is always possible, no? The government can make regulations, and they see, okay, we do not have enough tax money, and we tax a lot the use of electric cars. It's possible. But nevertheless, I think at the moment this would not be logical, because at the moment you make the promotion of the technology, and then in the future on the other side to go back and to just to cut the use of this by making very high taxes that would be counterproductive, because you need clearly aids to promote the technology. And then the other thing is mileage, autonomy of the car. What the indications that you have in the car, for example, remaining mileage 300 or whatever, is this really well controlled, or is it very delicate that I have to be afraid that I arrive on my destination and so on? What is your experience with the technology? Is it reliable now? Yeah, sure. In the beginning, and some years ago even more, you were always looking at what is mileage, how many kilometers do I have left with my battery. But today, the car makers, they have progressed completely, so they know that they have to offer a very reliable system, and that the data they give is now very exact. Nevertheless, one aspect is important, which is a climatization. No? For example, if it's very cold in winter or very hot in summer, then you need a heating system, you need air conditions, and then it's clear you will have a important reduction of the mileage. The new car types have some technologies to reduce the impact of this consummation. Nevertheless, you get experience with this. Yeah? To give you an example, now the last car that I bought, that had some 220 to 240 kilometers, and in winter, when I use, for example, the heating system, I'm about 180 kilometers. And if I use a lot the air condition, because it's very hot outside, the same. So I 50 kilometers less maybe that you have, but I know this effect, so I can consider this without any problem. Then on the other hand, I would like to say some words about the technology of the batteries that we have today available, and that we can wait in the future, because many manufacturers say a lot of announcement of new battery system with more mileage, more autonomy. What I have today available in the cars are really very good batteries that are clearly okay to do the everyday job. I do not have to be afraid of my battery of my car. Today you can buy a car and there's no concern. The car makers, they have very long warranty times and guarantee times, so you do not have to be afraid. There was some news in the past, for example, a car has burned with batteries because it went too hot and so on. Okay, things happened in the past, and every negative news, maybe will be a lot of a lot of news. It will be shown on the television because e-technology or mobility at the moment is a major issue to be in the press and so on, and to create some negative news. Yeah. Nevertheless, the technology today is really under control. Yeah. In the future, you will have maybe batteries that will be much safer, or will be safer, and will have more mileage. For example, at the moment, Tesla announced a battery pack for 1 million miles. Yeah, so all this is possible because we do not need really new technologies or super technology. It's a standard technology that will be improved in the future. So today, the battery technology is not an obstacle for what we need today in electric cars. Yeah. Okay, and the other general question is raw materials that you use for the battery, because there's a lot of it's criticized a lot, no? But on the other hand, the oil industry as well has a lot of environmental issues. Nevertheless, do you think in the future there will be enough raw materials available to make all the batteries that we will need for all the cars? Because many times the people say, okay, we have a technology jump and then it's no problem, but we have to think what we have today. Will we have enough batteries? Well, yeah, sure. And what we see as well is that we have in the future batteries that will use less rare raw materials, no? But for us, it's not really possible to know how far will this progress go, yeah? Because there's as well a lot of marketing and publicity from the manufacturers. It's true that the production of the battery has issues. There's not so many lithium available today, though we have to agree that it would not be for all the cars enough lithium. On the other hand, the lithium, you can recycle lithium and you can reuse the batteries and so on. From my point of view, it will improve the availability, technology, and the production will be more ecological of the battery in the future. You have to compare it as well, what we said before, to the oil industry. Yeah? You can do whatever you want. If you transport your body, individual transport, you cause environmental damage. The question is only which transport medium is the ecological one. Well, we all know the most ecological is to walk, then the bicycle, and then from my point of view as a car, the e-car. The ecological aspect of the electrical car, it has not been used from my point of view because it's not so ecological maybe. Okay, nevertheless, but my opinion is in the city, in the individual transport is the most ecological because you do not have emissions and you can produce for this use green energy. Okay, on the other hand, I drive 1,000 kilometers with a car that is not ecological. You can do whatever you want. And then you have the gray zone in between where you can discuss what is ecological, what not. Yeah, because at the moment our society is prepared and used to do everything with a car. And you just go to the bakery to buy some bread, or you make a 1,000-kilometer trip for your holidays. Question is, does this make a sense? What do you see here? That you need much more integrated thinking. It's not only say, I buy an electrical car and then I'm more a green person. No. You have to establish much different ways of transports and much more integrated concepts. Everything is already invented. Now you see many models in the cities, green smart cities, where you do not have any car driving around, for example. These cities are usually very attractive. Okay, it's like always, no? The electrical car is one element that can be used to create a more ecological transport concept in the future, but it's only one element. And it's only ecological if you can manage to make enough green energy. Because today this is not the case. That is what is typically criticized. For example, okay, you take a station where you heat a carbon station with brown coal or whatever, or with atomic energy, then what is the use of electric cars? Yeah, but okay, it's not a rocket science. Yeah, you have everything already available. We only need some technology switch to new systems. But on the other hand, we have to accept that the auto lobby is very strong, and until today they blocked new transport compass. Yeah, because you see this, for example, in Germany. On the highways you do not have a maximum speed. You do not have a speed limit on many areas. And they discuss about this for many years, but nobody managed ever to make this speed limitation. Exactly, that is a very good argument, no? Because the Germans always want to be the world class in reducing emissions and whatever. But these small mechanisms, like to make some speed limitations, which would have a drastic reduction of emissions, or I do not say even reduction, an adaptation of the speeds, would have a dramatic effect. But no way, you cannot get this in Germany. Yeah. And this would not be that it would be dramatic and you have to change completely the way of life. It would be just some adaptation, no problem. Maybe after 1 year everybody would be used, but no way. You cannot get this in Germany, and they consider themselves the world-class ecological people. Yeah, okay, that shows, for example, it's one sample of the small thing that would be make important contributions. We have many other examples, like, for example, in the recycling and so on, where some small adaptation and a little effort from our people for the individual person has a big contribution. This recycling is another way, no? The other thing I want to ask you, Tesla has a very high value on the stock exchange, no? Tesla, the value, the capital value is much, maybe like 4 or 5 big manufacturers together, but Tesla only makes 100,000, or several 100,000 cars, and the others millions. My impression is this high value on the stock exchange is principally from the technology of the autonomous driving, that they say, okay, I have a mobile phone, I just call a car. I don't have my own car anymore. And this will be maybe in 10 or 20 years. I forget about my individual car. And then as well, the charging problem does not exist anymore, because all the car is driving or is being charged in some charging pool at a satellite system outside the city. Do you think this will be the future, or do you think the Germans will keep driving their own car in the future, their own individual car? Yeah, what you say is absolutely true. No? Tesla is a very highly innovative company, and they have pushed technologies that, let's say, the conventional car makers that we know in Germany, for example, would not have been able to push it for different reasons. The idea is Tesla just builds a car, and they don't sell them anymore. They just offer a transport service. And by this means, you solve a lot of problems that you have today. You do not have so many cars on the street. You do not have so many cars parked around in the cities. The cars would be always driving or being charged. Yeah, just to pick up people. That would be the situation, and that is Tesla, because they have maybe the power in the future to make this switch. Okay, we do not know if it's justified, a very high value on the stock exchange. There's a hype as well around this, no? But the philosophy of Tesla is they are genius in these technologies, they have a big advantage versus other manufacturers. And this would be a very big market, because it would be cheaper for the consumer, and at the end of the day, everything what is cheaper is winning. For example, the consumer that does not have to buy his own car anymore for 30 or 40,000 euros, and he just needs the mobile phone to call a car, and he does not need his garage anymore. Yeah, I agree with you. For example, for me the same. Even for 300 euros a month, I would be very happy. I would sign this right away. I would. You have maybe your car as a status symbol. But what we see today as well, the next generation has a different behavior as well, because they are focused anymore on the individual car. The young people today, well, they like a very nice mobile phone, that is first priority. Then they want to visit all the capitals. Yet, for example, we before was 20, we wanted our own car. Now the young people, they want to visit a nice handy and a nice mobile phone, and they want to visit Tokyo, Brazil and everything, but they don't think about to buy a car directly, Okay, that's true. Nevertheless, just today was, the coronavirus. This international traveling you cannot do anymore so easily, Transport of bodies around the world. Nevertheless, we will see what the future will bring. But what we saw in the past will be changed, because for many different reasons it's not possible to go on like this. It will be very interesting, and I would be very happy if in the future I don't need a car anymore. And I can call with my Apple car, and like it would be a taxi, and there's coming a car, without a driver that brings me safe to a destination. From my point of view, it's not only for us; it would be as well for elder people, for very young people. That would mean a complete change in the system. Individual driving disappears, and you have to make a radical change in the whole individual transport concept. That is from my point of view as well, this possible system change where you create a new system and every consumer maybe pays some €100 per month all his lifetime. This explains the high value on the stock exchange for Tesla, because if I see electrical cars, it's not so dramatically new, the electrical cars we have for 100 years. Yeah, Jürgen, that's true, but on the other hand, really practical electrical cars for everyday use you have for 4 or 5 years now. What you had before, it was not really a technology with 20-40 kilometers of mileage and so on. This was not a car that was usable. Okay, Frank, thank you very much. It was really very interesting. And next time, if we have some environmental subject, maybe we can talk again. Yes, thank you. It was fun to be here. Yeah, Frank, thanks a lot for all the interesting information about e-cars, e-vehicles, and I hope that you enjoyed a lot this video as well, that you liked this video. I hope that we can see again, that we can meet again with my next video. So thank you very much, and see you next time.